Day. We wanted to take a little time to introduce and give a little insight into the remarkable role that women play in our business and for you to learn a little bit more about them. So being in hospitality, we are an industry largely dominated by women, as I'm sure you're aware. But sometimes that glass ceiling for the top positions may feel a little bit out of reach, which is something I've certainly found throughout my career. However, this is certainly not the case at Mollie's. Fortunate are we that we have a wonderful snapshot before you of the women that inspire us in the business on a daily basis. And I know that I'm definitely proud to be one of the 57% of the senior operational team that is female, which is bucking all the norms, and which is great because unusually the leadership team therefore accurately represents the workforce as a whole, which I know that I certainly feel very empowered by. So we're going to sort of jump right in and get started and give a little bit of a warm up. So first of all, we'll start with introductions. So we'll go first of all with our newest member of the team, which is Jenny. Jenny, hi, can you introduce yourself and tell us about your role?
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm the general manager for the new site opening in Manchester. I'm great to be part of the project and then become in Mollie's team.
Amazing. That's a super exciting year ahead for you. And I know that you're not alone. 66% of our general managers are in fact female, which is so you are in excellent company. Lindsey, should we come over to you next and see if you can do the same?
Yeah, indeed. My name's Lindsey Williams. I'm head of sales for Mollie's Motel and Diners. My role is to lead the strategy and to deliver top line sales for our motels. I work with national and local businesses, agencies and partners to support their business needs whilst driving demand for our properties. I also get to support the marketing and PR side of the business on seasonal campaigns and promotions, press and influencer trips, amongst many other exciting initiatives.
Thanks, Lindsey. I think it's really good to give people an insight into the breadth of the roles we have in hospitality. Sales being one of them. Not many people necessarily think about that when they're thinking about hospitality careers. How long have you been with Mollie's now?
I've been 2 years this month, actually. It's my anniversary.
Congratulations. I'm looking forward to hearing more about you because I know you've got more to share. Thank you. Kate, do you want to go next?
Yeah, my name's Kate Brooke-Green and I am in charge of all things food. So responsible for creation of menus, the designing and everything really from kind of the plateware, the CGS, the whole of everything to do with food basically.
That's a pretty important role with multiple moving parts and also really pivotal, I'm sure, for this year ahead as we open the new site and we have a new site in our portfolio and lots of new experiences. So really keen to hear about your route into the business. So over to the last panelist, Steph, could you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Stephanie Freeman. I'm the general manager of our Oxfordshire site. I've been with Mollie since 2021. I joined with the opening of Bristol. I've been really lucky to progress from floor manager to general manager, which has been amazing to be a part of.
Thanks, Steph. I have followed your story and your journey. I know that there has been some things out there in the press about how your career development at Mollie's. So thank you very much. Great to have you with us. Okay, so here we are. This is our Inspiring Leaders panel. So we're going to find out a little bit more about you all. Kate, put you in hotspot. I'm going to come to you first.
Thanks.
You've got a rich history with lots of experiences, which I hope we'll get more of a glimpse of throughout this conversation. But many people are finding their way in hospitality and in the industry. So for you, how did you decide on the industry that you wanted to work in?
Well, I kind of I'll be honest, I think it probably wasn't my first intentional industry to go for. It certainly wasn't what I studied. I originally studied my first degree in fine art painting and printmaking, and I kind of almost sort of really fell into the industry because I worked in kitchens in order to kind of like pay my way when I was at university, well, at least certainly my beer money and my drinking money. Definitely. And it was probably, it was there that I kind of just really kind of found it, exhilarating, fun. There's the kind of creativity involved in it, and also there was, it was just, it was just fun. So I kind of, probably much to the dismay of like my parents, I kind of, instead of going on and doing an MA, I kind of went, no, actually, I'd really like to go back and study like a culinary arts degree. So that's what I did. So I kind of took a different route in.
But stayed in the creative
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, and it's creative, and the best thing is that you get to eat it afterwards, which you can't really do with a
that's
painting.
always,
So
that's always a
it's a
thing.
bonus.
Do you still paint and print?
I do. Like I do. I mean, it's phenomenally hard when you've got, I mean, hospitality is, it's fast and furious, and I think we all know that we're spinning like many plates. All of us do that. And it's hard to kind of find that kind of, downtime, but I actually do, and I'm really fortunate that quite a lot of, obviously all of my friends still work in the arts, and maybe like some of them teach at kind of Central St Martin's, whatever. So I can actually, they're like, hey Kate, come at the weekend and we'll get you screen printing. So I do. Nice. And I'd kind of like love to do a little bit more of it, but I think it's like anything with a hobby, you've got to kind of like be quite strict. Yeah.
Well, we're very glad that you found your way into the kitchen.
Thank you.
Anyway, congratulations on the second in the National Burger Awards. We are very much looking forward to the Champion and Champions, and we're all rooting for you.
Thank you.
It's very exciting. Very exciting.
It is.
Okay, so it is true that people fall into hospitality. Is it the same for you, Steph?
Yeah, pretty much. When I was in college, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I wasn't the most academic person, but I knew I was willing to work hard to, progress and develop myself. I studied event management at university, and then pretty much 10 years ago, 2014, I started my first hotel, and just quite quickly knew that it was a place that I could thrive. I love sort of creating guest experiences and memories, but not just for the guests, but for our teams as well. I've been really lucky. I've worked with some amazing individuals that impacted me on my career, but also in my personal life. You get to work with people from all backgrounds, which is great. And there's just so many opportunities in hospitality. So I kind of love to see other people's growth and development as well as my own.
Yeah. People impact your life, don't they? They really do in hospitality, and I know that you've impacted the lives of your team as well. So thank you so much, Steph. Jenny, can I ask you the same question?
I think I might be one of the person quite lucky to know from quite young age what I wanted to be. I think my personality was, I'm not sort of like an academia person. I like the practical side of it. I like the moving about. And then the main thing was I like meeting people and talking. You can spend for hours and talking to people and without really knowing that you've spent that long. And kind of fitted in my need and want in a way. And I love traveling. So I got to know the companies, names like Hilton, Marriott, the big global company where you can move around and transfer from one country to another country. And there's a lot of opportunity. And that's where I had my eyes open and started looking into really hospitality since quite young age. And that's where my heart was.
So what was your first job in hospitality?
My very first job was in South Korea, which is a croupier. I was studying casino management back in South Korea in a 5-star hotel.
Very cool.
That's how I got moving into UK to learn English, because all the casino was in 5-star hotel. So if I'm studying hospitality, hotel management, it will give me more opportunity and for working in hotel as well as casino management. But obviously I've ended up staying in UK and made my way from my little college HND in hospitality, hotel and catering, followed by my degrees in international hospitality, business management, and my master's in hospitality again. And then that's been continued for my journey. And my very first job was in the waitressing in UK, and that got me to give me the vibe for working in hospitality.
Amazing. Lindsey, you've been in the industry, I believe, your whole adult life, is that correct?
Forever.
You were born here. So like in terms of like sharing pivotal moments in your journey and when you knew it was clear for you that you were in the right place and on the right path, do you have that moment?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of, I've never necessarily gunning for the top spot. I've just been followed a path that I'm enjoying, that I'm learning, that I'm getting job satisfaction from. And I think of, I mean, as you said, Trudi, I started washing pots when I was 13 in a hotel.
Yeah.
I've done waitressing to my first reception job in a hotel. But I think it's really when I started working in the events side that I really knew that this was going to be, a long-term career for me.
So really, it was always felt like you were on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it kind of mirrors what a lot of, the other ladies are saying. I just love working with people, both kind of my team, colleagues, and people themselves. So, I get a lot of satisfaction from that.
Amazing. I mean, hospitality tends to reel you in, doesn't it, once you're in it? And Kate, what about a pivotal moment for you?
I think probably actually one of mine was when I kind of was part of the opening team for the Wolseley, basically, which is very much an iconic restaurant in London. And I just remember, I was sort of in awe of it. It was so grand. It's a huge cafe. Jeremy King and Chris Corbin were kind of, I mean, quite massive. They're legendary. And then back then opening it, there was Chris Galvin, who was the executive chef, Ed Wilson, who was the head chef, and then Claire Clark, who was the head of pastry.
Yeah.
And all of them in their own right. I mean, Claire Clark has, been recognised, and she went over and she was in charge of all of pastry in the French Laundry. Chris Galvin's gone on to do, so they were like industry, like titans, like legends. And I just remember that it was so well run, it was so well managed, and it was just absolutely awe-inspiring. It was kind of 24/7 kind of like operation, and it was just completely exhilarating. And I just remember sort of like thinking, yeah, this is amazing, this is great, I love it. And I was learning so much, and I think that was probably when I just thought, this is great. I remember kind of like leaving a shift, and I lived kind of like Victoria at the time, and you would leave with several other people, and I just remember walking over Green Park with other chefs, even though it was really late, and we'd just be like chatting like non-stop. We didn't want to get the bus because we'd be like, oh, that was great. Nice. And it's that kind of, it didn't really matter. It was just everything was just so exhilarating and fun. So that was my moment, I think.
Amazing. Like, how inspiring to be around those characters as well. I'm sure there's lots of stories, but maybe we need to do it on a separate podcast, Kate.
Definitely, maybe. maybe like after 10 or something like that. Like maybe like a little.
Yeah, indeed. And Steph, life affirming moments, or knowing that you were, that pivotal moment in hospitality that you knew, or is there many?
So, I mean, I don't think there's an exact moment, but when you ask me that question, it sounds mad, but I actually think of the more challenging days, and the days where, you think, you want to give up, but you smash through it, and the buzz you get, and the adrenaline, the rush of adrenaline you get when you do reach your goals, and at the end of the day, you all reflect, and you're like, we achieved that as a team. It's moments like that where I'm like, this is the right place for me. I'm quite an indecisive person, but hospitality is definitely something that I'm very sure on. So
amazing. I can totally relate to those moments, and they do make you grin a lot. And I think that they are very sort of, life affirming, aren't they? When you go, yeah, okay, can do that. I'm happy. I'm here. Lindsey, so if we come to something that we can't really shy away from, the industry is dominated, as we all know, by females. And yet the top spots are not always held by women. How do you sort of like not let that get or affect your journey at all?
I mean, I just I've always been my authentic self, just, having confidence in my abilities and what I'm good at and what I can deliver, but also, really keen to learn and push myself in the areas that, is not necessarily my strengths or are new to me. And taking accountability for, to pushing myself for my own development, really,
So it's not something that necessarily has hindered you feel?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, Kate, so same question to you. Have you not let this affect your journey?
Well, to be honest, I think
you must be honest.
To be honest, I think if we sat there and we looked at kind of, the amount of, top positions that are held by certain, men or on boards or senior whatever, and you let that kind of really kind of affect you, then quite frankly we'd all just stay at home and we'd just end up, doing the washing, and I think that actually what we need to do is, we're responsible for kind of like activating that change, and kind of I think I've always just gone, you know what, no, actually I'm going to go for this. And I think for us, we all need to support one another in kind of like, reaching our dreams and our aspirations. And I think, we've got a duty to kind of like all join together and help one another, for the future, but of future, women joining, the industry to break through different barriers. But also, I think for the past as well, I think for, I often think for past women as well, we're there to kind of go, yeah, no, we are good enough. We can do this. So I tend to not really look at that. And I just think, right, I'm on, I'm doing it, and just stay engaged.
You're carving your own way and getting that hammer out and smacking a few glass ceilings when you're going through.
Like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, to go and get it and do it.
Exactly.
So again, I'll come back to you, Kate, go back round. Okay, so when you're looking at someone who's inspired your younger life, who was that for you?
Is this back to me again?
Yeah, back to you. Thought I'd mix it up.
Oh, thanks. All right. Cheers. Right. Okay. So I was, not to give too much away, but I was definitely kind of like a late 80s, like early 90s girl. So yeah, for me, it's not really anybody like per se that, inspired me within regards to kind of like, my career or what I wanted to be, but there was definitely some really iconic, people of that time. So I was really like, I loved Madonna. I loved Vivienne Westwood, obviously, when I was at, art school, amazing. I thought Jodie Foster was absolutely brilliant, just ahead of her time, what she was really groundbreaking. Bjork, massive Bjork fan. Tracy Emin, amazing. And then I don't know, Erykah Badu is pretty legendary. I saw her recently in concert, and wow, like she's still amazing today as she was then. So for me, those kind of, they were big, large characters, just full of life.
Outside their box, basically, that people were trying to put them in, maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
Very influential women. Brilliant choices. Jenny, is there a female in your field that is bossing it out there and you admire the most, and who is that and why?
I think rather than just being a female, I think it was one of my ex-boss is called Rachel. I'm not just admiring her because she's female, but I admire her leadership, her personal journey, as well as the cares and engagement that she provided to the team and from various levels. And I think that's more important, and that gives me more inspiration, as well as I want to be like her when I become in a level, or when I become in a higher level or senior position. And that was the inspiration she gave me through her leadership more than anything else.
I'm sure she's beaming to hear the impact she's had. Leaders have such a profound impact on us, don't they? So
yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have been listening to Kirsty Young's podcast, Young Again. Kate and I have had several conversations about this that went in different directions before, but it's inspired my last question. and it's caused me to think quite a lot about my path, and I'm sure it will yours too. Okay, so if you're able to talk to your younger self and give them a little bit of advice, what would you say? I'll come to you, Lindsey, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'd say, and this is something I probably learned most recently in more recent years, but it's like to say, no one knows it all. It's okay to take a leap and grow in a role. Everyone is. No one knows it all, or has it all covered. And just that you're going to have a great ride and end up just where you were meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. Kate, back to you. Same question. What would you tell your younger self?
I would say tenaciousness is good. The tempestuous nature, maybe tone that down a bit. Like, just don't build China shop. And then probably I think, similar to Lindsey, I think probably this, whole thing of like trying to be a perfectionist, I think I'd probably definitely just be like, look, it's okay to get something wrong. It really, really is. Actually, it's almost like healthy, so just, and I think my younger self was just so worried about kind of, oh, what if I make a mistake? What if I don't do it right? And, I think we need to go through that process of getting things wrong. Otherwise we'd never learn. So I definitely would tell myself that.
100%. Usually it leads you to some good places, getting things wrong, things that you never thought you'd get to. So yeah, great advice. Okay, so if we go back to one final question to end it all off, thank you so much for everybody, is one piece of advice you would give someone starting in the industry today, and I'll start with Steph.
I'd say talk to people, talk to your customers, talk to your teams, your guests, and connect with them. Have genuine connections that will lead you to anticipating their needs. Have fun, absolutely, and lean on the people around you. And it is not a weakness to ask for help.
Absolutely. Kate, next. Same question.
Be inquisitive, ask questions. Never lose sight of that playfulness, that kind of like that playfulness, that curiosity that got you into a career, even though things get a lot more serious and you have those responsibilities, but try and always draw back to that kind of curiosity and that playfulness, because that's that drive that took you to where you wanted to go. And never be afraid to fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very true.
Jenny?
I think this is something that I tell most of my team, and especially somebody who's just coming forward as a casual staff members. I think, in my opinion, regardless of your positions, that you, what level of responsibility you might have within your job, especially in hospitality industry, you will learn a lot of fundamental skills that can be transferable to any other industries. Because everyone needs to do some level of customer service. Everyone needs to be delivering some level of time management, conflict handling, problem solving. I mean, problem solving is one of the things that we do day in, day out.
Yeah, life skills.
Yeah, proactively or reactively, but you have to find the solution there and then. And also the organizational and then planning is another key skill set, is very much transferable to any industry. But again, teamwork, there are so many skills that you will learn without even maybe you realizing it.
Yeah.
You might be working as a part-time job and then just earning some pocket money, or you might not sure where you want to go for your career in the path, or this is something what you want to do and then you are really into it. Whatever the time that you have, I want people to be able to use that time wisely, because this will give you your basic skill set to move to another,
to go anywhere.
Absolutely. So I want people to be able to use that time wisely. And also I also want to tell people, don't limit yourself. It's not only about making the bed or serving customers. We have non-operation, like Lindsey in sales, like although you are operational but also non-operational, like Trudi in HR. We got marketing, we got finance. There are other departments that can give you that kind of buzzing in operationally, but also you in the business aspect on any other business. So don't limit yourself. But then I really want to say it can be not for everyone. It can be overwhelming. It can be 24 hours crazy and hectic, but I just love it. I love all this madness. And if you have a passion and love what you do,
Yeah.
it will make you go far, and then
Yeah.
you will enjoy every moment.
Amazing. Thank you. Lindsey, back to you finally.
I'd just like to say that, you know, the sky could be the limit. Some of the things that have really helped me along the way, you know, emotional intelligence, which is really important when working with people, you know, people skills, having a real drive and not being afraid to work hard, showing initiative, taking accountability, being creative and willing to explore new ideas, you know, some of which don't always work. Constantly learning and developing, recognizing your own strengths and weaknesses, certainly having integrity, do what you say you will, a genuine care for others, push yourself for new challenges, and you know, put yourself out there. It might just pay off.
I think I lost you at the end there. Sorry, Linz. Amazing advice. Thank you all so much. Hopefully you've all ignited a little bit of passion into someone watching this, and then maybe the next generation of girl bosses. I think it's been great to have a little insight, and thanks again, and I hope you've all enjoyed taking part, and thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Lovely
Bye.
chatting. Take care.
Bye.